So the closing ceremony of Olympics 2026 is what I'm going to talk about a bit right now. And it is in regards to how it connects to artistic expression done by me, but also in collaboration with other people. In this particular video, I'll talk mostly about Julian's drawing. We make drawings of the future, and that has to do with a sort of soulful expression. It's based on the belief that the soul has a knowledge in it that it expresses in via art. Okay, and this is influential, which is something that I'm showing in this video. We see that the stage itself of the Olympics closing ceremony in Verona, Italy on February 22nd looks like an eye. And what did Julian from California make a drawing of? Well, the drawing motif was an eye, a pierced eye. You can see the similarity. The similarity is striking. It's so similar to an eye. You see even the anatomy itself, it's very detailed. The way that you can see the connection here. It's almost like you even see the nerve going from the eye into the mind in the stage there. You can see it, right? At the bottom you could see it as some kind of nerve going into the brain from the eye. And so what I want to do is simply to make this statement here that yes, it's not that we were, or I was thinking that, oh, this is going to be like this, you know. It's more like, no, there is some kind of artistry going on in the world stage itself, and which means that there is a sort of plot, you could say, or something is basically happening on the world stage that is beyond perception of most people. Okay, but at the same time, there is something unconscious in that the soul seems to have a connection to. So yeah. So let me just repeat that we did the drawing collaboration. There are videos about this. We did the drawing collaboration on February 16th, directly after the pierced eye drawing collaboration. We saw what was it? The R&B artist bleeding from his eyes. Ray J, R&B artist living in he was living in California. He just like Julian, he also lives in California. So there is some kind of connection to in this case Julian. He made the drawing, right? And so there is some kind of resonance going from his soul, you know, as I see it at least. And so we get Ray J bleeding from his eyes as a top news consequence. Again, the Ray J bleeding from his eyes during performance, it was censored on the world stage. I mean, it was censored. And so, but still, I mean, it was supposed to be something that was on everyone's, like everyone should have seen that, but for whatever reason, I mean, I guess it's censored because what I'm doing on my channel, it's actually working, the way that, so for me, I can consciously see these butterfly effects when they're about to become, a butterfly is about to take off, and I see that, and I take that, um, I take, how do you say, I catch it or something, and do collaborations so that we can have a meaningful experience together where we see actually what's happening together, and you use your divine spark to do something with that, yeah. So this video here was just me saying that we see something here on February 22nd, a few days after the drawing collaboration. We see the main event of the world in Europe, at least, Olympics, and the main stage of the closing ceremony. That was actually very beautiful, I would say. I mean, it was very artistic, very artistic. And you see the eye. You see the eye. It's very interesting, and especially also since the opening ceremony, and the opening, and how do you say, the commercial for the how do you say, the trailer for Olympics 2026 had a lot to do with fire. You had the dual fires connecting to Bradley's drawing that was about fire. So we have both the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony connecting to these art collaborations that went after each other, like one to the next. And you have the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony, or I mean the opening of Olympics, having a connection to the fire, the dual fire, and yeah, the first ever dual fire in Olympics that was lit at the same time. And now they made this big deal about, in the closing ceremony, they made this big deal about extinguishing the fire also, which I'm beginning to like intuitively grasp what this is about, which will lead to the next drawing. Yeah, like I'm seeing the artistry here on the world stage, and I will express that into something myself, which is the next drawing that I will do. It is you could see it as a continuation of what's going on. So yeah, just wanted to say that like this is pretty big, that ending ceremony, an eye, and Julian drawing collaboration was pierced eye, worth mentioning, guys. It's worth mentioning that. And also the fact that I think at least I've been talking about the opening ceremony. Yeah, I've been talking about it a bit, and the fire theme around that, and the Milan fire at the arch that had this pentagram in it. And then you had the the Arch of Triumph in Paris having a terror attack a few days later, and it's all connected, and which is something that I will now express in the next drawing. As I said, the next drawing is something that I will do, and so it's kind of you can see this is some kind of verification that that there is some kind of visual verification here that yeah, the eye symbolism is valid, as at least as I would say. And we got the top news as some kind of verification of a sane process also. But yeah, it was censored also. It was pushed down the top news about the bleeding eyes of Ray J while performing. He was bleeding because he was in poor health, and this is the big deal that happened after the drawing with Julian. So yeah, see you guys another time. Bye bye.